right, hug it up. Hug it up, hug it up, hug it up. All right, move back to your seats. All right, give me somebody new. Somebody new who has not shared before. Who's sharing with me? Back row? All right, my man, you ready? Beautiful catch. Okay, you got it? Oh, it's on the floor. Almost.
All right, cool.
All right, what's your name? Where are you from?
Mick, I'm from Traverse City, Michigan.
Beautiful, welcome.
Yeah, man, so basically where I'm at is I don't hire anybody who's part-time. All my people are full-time. But the thing is that I know all the truth in me. Like, I know. And it seems like everybody I hire, all I really want from them is validation. So fuck that. I know my own shit.
Pause real quick. How many of you know at times you hired just to have entourage tell you have a huge cock?
Like, dude, you don't even know how much money I spend a year having people to be like, yeah, no, your ideas are right. The fuck?
Got it. So when you know the truth in your team at the level you know the truth in yourself, you will roll everyone in your industry. Right. Notice what I just said here. When you know the truth in your team at the level that you know the truth in yourself, you will roll everybody in your industry. You will dominate everyone. Because most teams are completely disconnected.
Right.
I was building a Spartan phalanx at the core. First it was just me, then it was me and Jeremy, then it was me, Jeremy, and Sam, and now it's 37 people. So when we move, we go, and there's a row behind. So there's all these little assassins trying to throw arrows, and we're like, throw your fucking arrows. We will literally run you over. And all we've been doing is building a phalanx for years. This is the first year coming into the summer, coming into the fall, that we're like, that's why 1,000 men started Black King's Kit the 1st of June. 2,000 men will start August 1st. 4,000 men will start September 1st. And people are like, what are they doing? Garrett's not on Instagram anymore. Right. Motherfucker, we're training for war, not training for hand jobs of popularity. So inside of your organization, you have to get tight with everyone. What I mean is, you have to know what scares them in the night. You got to know the shit they're hiding, because their personal life affects their productivity. And when you have a team that's not afraid to talk to you about everything, at least at the core, then you have a team that'll go to war.
Right on, man.
When I hung out, now I'm not a military man. Spent a lot of time the last 4 years with a lot of very powerful military men. Been doing my best to raise up some certified trainers here to go serve them at the highest level. But inside of that place, we spent more and more time with active duty members and individuals in special forces, individuals who've been deployed into war zones. I asked them, I was like, why are you all so tight? A, our lives aren't online. B, we spend a lot of time together. C, there just isn't shit we don't know about each other. And when you combine those three things, game over. So I deployed the same game into my business with my teams. So my teams, 2:30 in the morning at the end of our second event. This is our third event in like 10 days. And it's 2:30 in the morning. One of my team members across the hallway calls me or messages me, hey, can we talk after you get done tonight? It's 2:30 in the morning. But he knows I give a shit about it. I was like, yeah, come over. He sits down. He's got problems with his woman. And we're having a talk about his relationship and holding him to a standard of a new commitment inside of who he's going to be as a man. But what the fuck does that have to do with his position in our company? See, and most men that run that will never have that conversation because they won't have that conversation with themselves. And so they can only lead so fast and so furious because the frame on themselves is weak. So they'll hire people to tell them what they want. They'll hire people who are just pawns, because if they actually hire someone who will collide with them, their frame's not strong enough to handle it, and their ego is linked up in their current frame. So it melts and it shatters under the pressure. And so you'll continue to create an isolated game in business that actually doesn't have you compete with against anybody but who you already know you can kick their ass. So you'll stay in small cities, small towns, small segments of the marketplace, and you don't try to take down the big dogs or go to fucking war because you don't have a phalanx. You have one king surrounded by a bunch of fluffers.
Sure.
You feel me?
Yeah, no, I totally feel you, man. So
what's the first thing you would have to do different, leaving from here?
The first thing I need to do different?
Yeah.
I think I'm already there.
Okay, what would it be?
I'm done really asking if I'm doing the right things, because so far I've yet to find something.
Hold it up a little bit.
So far I've yet to find something. It's not that I don't know. It's not that I know everything.
Right.
But like, there's nothing that's really speaking in my heart.
Yes.
That's not correct.
Okay.
So I need to own that a lot more, which is really the epiphany that I've had.
So that you need to start saying what you're actually thinking to your team.
I need to be much more confident about it.
Much more confident about what you're saying.
Instead of saying, hey guys, what do you think? Is this a good idea? Fuck
Instead
that.
of saying,
This is
hey
what we're
guys,
doing.
here's what we're going to do.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, it's a big difference, right? Hey guys, what do you think? I need your opinion on this. To, here's what we're going to do.
Yep.
Okay, would you like to know the art of framing that I use
Please.
to be able to help my teams feel fucking empowered so I don't have to do everything?
Absolutely.
And you can actually come to them and say, here's what we're going to do, but they still get to be part of the creative process and figuring out what to do also. Because it's important you don't just do everything for them or tell everyone what to do, or you've just built the minions. Yeah. You need producers inside of the game who see themselves as entrepreneurs inside of your company. We call them kings of certain kingdoms. And so Warrior is an empire, a syndicate of companies across 4 industries. And inside of these, I've raised up kings, and they own their kingdoms. And inside of those places, I deploy frameworks to those kingdoms, to those kings, and have counsel with my kings. And in that, I deploy frameworks and say, figure it out, but here's where we're fucking going. The empire is rolling. Your kingdom must meet us here on the battlefield. Figure it out. So they get to still go back into their kingdom and work and build and create and feel ownership. But I, as the man running the game, can still give clear commands of, here's where we're going. Are you catching this conceptually?
I am. I really am. What I'm wondering, can I ask a question?
You can.
I guess I just did. At what point does that become abdication?
Okay.
That's the question.
Would you like to learn?
What's that?
Would you like to learn?
That's why I'm here, sir.
Ready?
Yeah.
You ready to go? I'm about to give it to you.
All right.
I'm about to draw it up. Just sit down. Get your notes ready. You ready to do this?
Yeah.
You sure?
Where?
What's the fuck's going on with our microphone? He can't even yell in it. Is it working?
Ready!
Okay, there we
Does that
go.
work? Yeah.
Any of the rest of you ready to learn this framework? Yes! Are you sure? I mean, you could just continue to drag everyone with you. All right, let's do this. But we need to give our man a little 2-clap. 2-clap! Boom! 2-clap! Boom! 2-clap! Boom! So I'm going to ask myself a couple questions to get started. Here's the first question I'm going to ask. Where am I? Right, you've got to start. Any framework that you're starting with all we're talking about here is little execution maps that allow us to move forward. Everything I create is in frameworks. It is why my leadership works, because of my certainty inside of the frame, but the frame are frameworks that everyone can operate off of. That makes it clear to execute, but the baseline of every framework is a clarity of where I am. Okay, that's also included where our team is or where that aspect of our business is. If I was looking at marketing, where are we at in our marketing for real? What are the facts about where we're at today? Not the bullshit, not the lies. What are the facts about what's working and what's not working? Second question. Where am I committed to go? Notice I didn't say where do I want to go. I didn't say where are we maybe going to go. Where am I committed to go? So again, this comes down to the frame. Teams are part of the team. They're part of their job is to kick against it. When I started to realize that my wife, part of her job in my life and her role in my life is to not believe anything I'm saying. And her job is to collide. For 10 years, I was like, this bitch. Seriously? Could you just fucking cheerlead me one time? You have to cross-check me every time? You got to question everything? You got to ask me one more question about it? Can't you just say, you're the fucking man, that's awesome? I still haven't heard that one time. I just hear, be the man, and then I hear, and I can just measure off of other results that obviously I'm doing something right. Here's the piece inside of it, though. Her job was to firm the frame, to firm up my commitment to where I say I'm going to go. So I say I'm going to go somewhere with the business, and then immediately she will. Why? What about this? 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 Why? What about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Why? And at the beginning, I'd be pissed off. Now I'm like, here's where I'm going to go. And if I melt under her questions, guess what I know? I need to firm up my frame. When I take my frame into my teams, if I go into my marketing division, or I go into my sales division, or we go into our accounting division, I come in with a frame, and they start being, what about this, and I start to melt, I'm grateful, because guess what it does? It tells me my frame is fucking weak, and I got to go back to the drawing board. When I come in with a solid frame, though, nowadays, the questions are minimal. Minimal. They'll ask a question here or there, then we deploy and off we go. Because I spend time considering these questions before I ever go to my team. Where are we at right now? What are the facts? Where am I committed to go? Next piece. What are the 4 doors to get there? So if you notice the way I teach and the way I talk about everything and anything we're doing, I'm constantly doing everything in 4s. Body being balanced business, real, raw, relevant results, what, why, lesson, apply. Everything is constantly in this game of both alliteration and repetition, but it's also done inside of 4s. I don't know why exactly this works, but it does. So anytime I'm going on a journey then where I am saying, here's where we are and this is where we're going to go, I am setting that frame up with 4 doorways. These 4 doorways need to be sequenced. But I'm backing up and I'm saying, okay, here's where we are right now. I am committed to going to that place over there. I am gathering up all of my why, all of my certainty, all of my vision to go to this place. Because I know between there and here is war. Half the shit we assume will be wrong. A lot of the shit we deploy will not work. Things we assumed would be true are not true anymore. The game between these 2 points is a bloodbath of creation and building. And so most entrepreneurs I know come in and they try to figure out the exact perfect blueprint to hand to their teams or to deploy on their own, not recognizing that blueprints get burned up once the war begins. So your blueprints are irrelevant, but your frameworks are crucial. Your blueprints can be thrown to the side in 2 seconds. You start digging and digging and digging, Mr. Barlow, and down go the diggers, and they're plugging all the dirt out, and you assume that there's actually rock down there, only to find out there's a river. You're like, fuck. Throw those blueprints away. There's a goddamn river down there. Well, but, Captain, the blueprints say that we're supposed to pour right here. Motherfucker, there's a river down there. The blueprints that we were going to build off assumed rock. We're not going to continue with that blueprint. Let it go. And if you have teams that are committed to blueprints but not frameworks, then you will constantly have teams that are in chaos because the blueprints never work. They are constantly audibling, erasing. In pencil, here's what we assumed. Every week, your teams must stay committed to a framework, but be okay with letting go of blueprints. How are your blueprints this week? Well, they're not working. How do we know? Because they're not producing results. How do we know? Because they're not opening the doors. I got a door in front of me. It's locked. You can work all week long, but you have one job. Your job is to what? Open the door. So if you come back to me on Monday at meeting and you tell me that all the cool shit you did, I don't give a shit. Well, we spent 42 hours drinking coffee and looking at the door. Then, over the weekend, we decided to do some logos that looked like a door. And then we decided to have another team meeting to discuss the pictures and to make a decision about whether we should have a coffee machine at the office that's like the coffee that we get at the store. It will save us some time so we could work on the door. Motherfucker! Open the goddamn door! Well, how are we going to open it? That's your fucking job to figure out. My job is to show you where the door is. Your job is to open the fucking door. Well, where are the keys? Why the fuck are you on my team if I have to give you all the goddamn keys all the time? You're here because you are the key maker. I show you the doors, you open them. The end. This single distinction has altered my entire reality. My job is to get clear about the war and the doors. That's it. Here's the war we're going to wage. Those doors. I don't fucking know. If I knew that, you wouldn't be here. But I will tell you, you will open this door. I have a new team member, new executive on our team. He's an amazing man. And I was getting frustrated. I was getting frustrated because he was looking at all the doors, but he wasn't kicking the doors down. So we had a conversation and we collided a bit. When I mean a little bit, that what you saw at the beginning of my presentation, that's how it went. I yell, I throw shit, I break shit to emphasize the point that we build shit here. Your job is to fucking kick down doors. That's it. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be acceptable. It doesn't have to be how everybody else does it. I don't give a fuck if you run from 2 miles away and you do a flying ninja kick through the fucking door. As long as we can go through the goddamn door, you win, I win, we win the war. But sitting around and gathering facts about the doors doesn't fucking help me. Because while you're gathering the facts, boom, I just kick that bitch open. And if I have to keep kicking the fucking doors open, you're gone. So I put him under some constraints, and I gave him 4 doors in 1 week. It seemed impossible. I was only committed to one thing with him. Opening what? The doors. He would come to me. Well, how this? I said, I don't give a shit. You have one job. Open these 4 fucking doors this week. The second thing you must do as a leader is sequence the doors. That is not the team's job. Your job is to sequence the doors. You set the frame. Here's where we are. Here's where we're going to go. This is victory in the war. Here is where we are. I realize we are outnumbered. We are outgunned. We do not have the resources right now to pull this off, but I don't give a shit. I will figure that out for us. Here's where we are. That's where we're going. Here's where we are. That's where we're going. And I will look everybody in the face. Where are we at? Right here. Where are we going? Over here. Okay, there's 4 doors. My job is to move the doors in theory, like game pieces on a map, trying to figure out in my mind as I look at the sequence from way up above, what is the sequence of doors that will give us the highest probability of victory? What is the first door that must be opened for the other 3 to be clear? Because often, just like a video game, when you open the first door, you find treasure. And you find insight that you couldn't see. And the resource that you need for door number 4 is found sitting between door number 1 and door number 2. When you open door number 1, all of a sudden you find resources you didn't know you had before. In a practical game, if you are low on money and your business is not working and you do not have enough leads, is it time to work on your accounting? But this is what people will do. I was running out of money in my life, so I decided to spend 4 hours on the fucking phone with Cox Cable to argue over $112 when I had a $400,000 fucking problem. I was like, fucking showed those guys, I got $112 back. My wife's like, I appreciate that. We're still fucked. Yep. That was probably not the best move.
It's like the war begins and you run to go find water bottles. And then you come running back and you're like, I got his water bottles for the war. Motherfucker, the war's over! You ran to go get water bottles, you pussy! If I needed a water boy, I could have got one for way cheaper. You're frontline warman, what the fuck? I get a little excited about this shit. Because this is legitimately how I lead my companies. My salon meetings, I have some of the most tough women you've ever met. They're beautiful. They walk slowly in $1,200 high-heeled Louis Vuitton shoes, and they seduce you. And then when you're smiling, it's like those movies you see with the girl who seduces the guy, but she's really like a hit woman who kills people and seduces you in, and then all of a sudden it's like, and you're like, what the fuck, I'm dead and my cock's on the floor. These are my girls, because I teach them this. I teach my artists this. Frameworks, frame control, sequence the doors, and then deploy. Where am I at? Where am I going? What are the doors? Sequence the doors, and then deploy. Where am I at? Where am I going? Figure out the doors, sequence the doors, and then deploy. Now share what you're getting, and we're going to take a couple questions on this. Let's go. Share it up, share it up. I'll come to you. Share it up, let's go.